Welcome back inside the Now Morning Show. It is Monday, and you know we like to help the nation heal through art, and sometimes that art is exhibited through the artists themselves. And this morning I want to welcome Jacinta Charles because she's our artist on set for the week, but she joins us this morning to discuss her work a little bit. Good morning, Jacinta.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm fine.
Nice. It's great to have you on. I understand that something very interesting about you is that you've been a pastry chef for like 6 years before you started to do art properly and fully.
Yeah.
Are you still a pastry chef?
Yes, I am.
Nice. Is it the same thing, like in terms of creating pastries, creating art? Is it similar?
In terms of use of color, yeah, but ingredients because.
Can we bake charcoal just
But yeah, I guess that's what it lends itself well in the pastry room, understanding the color theory, how things balance with each other, minimalism, but you kind of see certain, which is a theme throughout my art. I don't try to use too much, but color still to kind of complement. I'll use a lot of black, but the pop of color. So even on a plate, where my sauce would be one color, I'd use different elements of color to bring it alive.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so let me backtrack. How you get into drawing and art and all that stuff in the first place?
That's a, I always was an art from a child. My father, he's not a recognized artist, but he always used natural elements, finding corals, making things out of wood, and all these different things. So I always saw him doing a lot of artistic things, and it always helped me to create. You know, I was always allowed to play around with things. I was never very talkative. Still not very talkative.
And I'm saying here you are talking.
Still not very talkative, but I think I use art to express what I want to say, that I won't say vocally.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us about your pieces, because you mentioned, using a pop of color in it. And so I'm seeing mostly the black, but there's also that pop of color. So tell us about your paintings.
So the process, I think I don't really start with color. I start with what I want to say through the piece, and then throughout working with the charcoal, because charcoal is very, to me, lends itself well to emotions. See
Really?
if you, well, to me.
To you,
As in terms of me applying paints with a paintbrush, it's totally different when I'm using charcoal, because charcoal is very hands-on. So that feel, if I'm aggressive, you're going to see this through.
We have this one on screen. Tell us about the process for this one, because I am seeing the heavy charcoal that you mentioned.
Yes, so this one, I guess it starts with a thought normally. So I'll be reading Bible verses, scriptures, and then I try thinking, how can I show this visually, what God is trying to say?
What is the thought you had for this one?
So it's Emmanuel, God is with us, in this case me. I was seeing myself through his eyes, like, that assertiveness, like that knowing even in my lowness, God is everything, that being brave, being bold, like that's what I wanted to showcase, like just watching in his eyes and knowing that he know himself. Despite of what's going on around him, he is sure of who he is, his identity in Christ, that way.
And this one?
Especially the color that you use.
Exactly. So the color, as I say, the color comes afterwards.
Right.
Because every color has its influence, happiness, sadness. So you have to know what you want the viewer to feel through looking at the color. This one in particular was, how can I repay you? I guess that's why he's off, looking off, like in his thoughts.
Yes.
So it was a reflective piece in thinking, like, how can I, like little me, what can I do to repay God for his goodness over my life and all these different things, knowing what you've been through. Like, wait, boy, when you think and sit down and be like, how much things I've been through, and I see you there with me every step of the way. So it's like, how can I repay you? It's just,
And this one, but his eyes are closed, so it's very, I love to get with this one.
So
this one is surrender, right?
Surrender, So this one is a little more in the feelings.
Yeah.
I love it. It's more in the feelings. If you could see the newspaper work around it, if you read some of the articles that is a lot of negativity, if you know what things that we all witness within our communities around children, parents, and children growing up have to deal with this. And that's why I use it on as for the clothes, because it feels like you're trapped in that. Yeah, you close it, it's on your skin, you know? So it's like knowing all of this going on, you still have to keep your head up. You still have to, like, Lord, just take it. Whatever happening, whatever going on, just a release. Because you can't keep that burden, not everything that's going on around you. You just have to be able to trust and know that everything's taken care of. So that was the inspiration for this piece.
All three of these are meant to be the same young man?
No.
No, they're not? I find they resemble.
No. You find resemble?
Yeah, boy.
Maybe I was thinking.
Well, I guess they all have the same mother.
Yeah. Oh, I see them.
That exactly.
And the thing, I don't really think about how they look too much. I try not to, it's really the emotion, try to display through them. So I guess probably that's why, you know, but it's just really the emotion I try to hit.
How do you decide on which color you're using for each one? After you finish, put the emotion on the charcoal with the black and all that stuff, right? How do you decide, all right, how do I elevate this with color?
Okay, so I balance cool and warm tones.
Okay.
So if you realize cool tones would be to the background, which are like the purples, the blues, and all those things, because they recede. And warm tones, which would be reds and all those different colors, yellows and stuff, they come forth. So I tend to put the background in a cooler tone and use the pop of color, which would be the warm, to bring out what I want the viewer to see. So even though it have a lot of color, you would realize the brighter colors are always on the image and not in the background. Yeah.
Now, I know that you mentioned that it's not, you really want the feeling or the emotion to come out as opposed to the person, but I understand that you also paint people of color. And so what was the reason for doing that as opposed to just a photograph, some random photograph?
I've always seen people of color. I am a person of color. Not saying that I know a lot of people that is of other races and stuff, but in my community, what I see, emotions I see is true people of color. And they express emotion. Yeah, they get angry.
We can do it
yeah. So constantly seeing that, it's like, how could I tell somebody's story or feelings through art, or make people who not from my community see what's going on in my community just by watching their face. See that they're angry, see that they're oppressed, see that something going on here with these children, with these people that people need to kind of pay attention to. So that's...
So your art is meant to highlight the emotions. What about trying to fix the way that, I don't want to say, I want to say that the way that it's received, because, you know, it might be misunderstood in terms of what the emotion is that's coming out.
No, that's, again, it's how you interpret it, but I don't think I try to make people read into what I trying to say. I would be open to hear what they think about it as well. It's not just me saying this is what it is. I could feel what you feel, because obviously if somebody watch it, they might get a total sense. And I would love to hear what somebody else may. I love to hear that, okay, so I might be thinking this is what it is. And that's not really it. And most of the time that's the comments I get. Yeah, when I go to shows and I listen to, it's like I'm like, okay, that's not what I put in there, but that's what you receive, and I'm okay with it.
That's the thing with art, is open to interpretation. Jacinta, if we want to see more of your lovely work, where can we find you?
I'm on Instagram, Jacinta Love Art. That's my handle.
That's pretty easy.
Yeah,
Jacinta Love Art.
Jacinta Love Art. Yeah.
And we love your art as well.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you in advance for blessing us with it for the entire week. I know that we're going to be having it on set. We always get good feedback from our viewers, also when people come into the studio and they see. And I think yours is going to be one of those impactful ones as well. So thank you so much for joining us this morning, and all the best.
I appreciate being here. Thank you.
You're most welcome.
And that, of course, was Jacinta Charles, our artist in studio, as we like to say, as we continue with our art series on Now, in collaboration with the Art Society of TNT. You're on the Now Morning Show. We're going to take a break. I'll be right back. Stay with us.